Hello everybody, welcome to our science lesson for today on Monday the 13th of April. Today we're going to learn about tsunamis. Now I wonder, has anybody in the class ever heard of the word tsunami before? I just want you to think about that for a minute now. Tsunami. Where have you heard that word before? And what does it mean? What is a tsunami? Well, if you're not sure what a tsunami is, or even if you are, now would be a great time to go and watch this video on a tsunami which happened in Japan in 2011. So if you have the PowerPoint open there, you can just copy this link here, put it into a new tab and watch that. It's a very interesting video. So if you haven't done that already, you can pause this video now and go and look at that video on YouTube. So the aim of this PowerPoint is to explain what causes tsunamis and how they affect people. So we're going to be looking at what are the causes of the tsunamis, like what causes the tsunamis to happen, and how do they affect the people. So hopefully now at this stage you have an idea what a tsunami is. If you've watched the video, you've seen what a tsunami is. So tsunami is a Japanese word, comes from the Japanese language, which means harbour wave. So that's the meaning of the word tsunami. And basically a tsunami is a giant wave, big massive wave, maybe the size of a building or even a couple of buildings, and very, very powerful. And they can be very dangerous if they hit land. So was your idea close to the real meaning? Was what you thought a tsunami is the same as this? So we're going to look now at what the causes of a tsunami. What causes a tsunami? So as we've said before, a tsunami is a giant wave caused by a huge earthquake under the ocean. So as you can see in the little picture here, we have tectonic plates there grinding against each other. That's what causes an earthquake. Basically an earthquake underwater causes these giant waves to appear. So it causes a large amount of water to be displaced very quickly, and a series of waves travel through the deep water. So you see them, this red arrow here is indicating that they're traveling, the waves are all traveling in this direction. As the waves travel through the shallower water near the land, they get bigger. So in the middle of the ocean here, where the earthquake is happening, the water is quite deep. But then the waves travel nearer to land, where the water is shallower, and they get bigger and bigger. So by the time they reach land, they're very, very big. Did you know, before the tall wave hits the land, the water level at the shore will drop? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Here we have a picture of a tsunami hitting the land there. Now let's have a look at the damage a tsunami will cause. And you've already seen that if you've watched the YouTube video from earlier on, from the tsunami in Japan in 2011. They can be very, very destructive, cause millions or billions of dirhams worth of damage. So have a look at this picture here and answer those questions just orally. Maybe if there's somebody in the house there with you, mum or dad or brother or sister, or even if there's nobody there with you in the house, you can just answer them yourself out loud. What can you see that looks out of place in this picture? Is there anything out of place? I can see a few things out of place there. Can you see anything that's out of place? What about this thing here? What's this? Any ideas what that is? Well, to me, that looks like a big ship, a very, very big cruise liner maybe. Massive, massive ship, and we have another one over here, another boat, and another one over here. There's at least 3 boats there. Are they a little bit out of place on land there? I think they are. So what's happened? Obviously, the tsunami has brought the boats in from the water, and it's brought them, because the tsunami is so big and so powerful, it's brought them all the way into the middle of the land there. What kinds of damage have occurred in the area? So what kind of damage can you see here in the picture? Well, I can certainly see here there's a home that's been destroyed, a house that's been destroyed, another one over here. So lots and lots of destruction, lots of houses have been ripped apart. I'd say they've been moved from one place to the other. And you can see loads of rubbish and debris, metal and stone everywhere. Cars, lorries, all over the place. Now, I just want you to think for a minute. If you were in a rescue team who have just arrived at the scene, what kinds of help might you need to give? So if you were called up by the emergency services, if you were in a rescue team, if you're coming to help, what kind of things would you have to do to help? Who might you have to help? Or what might you have to do to help? What do you think? Would you have to help people maybe in some way? How might you have to help people? Might there be people stuck under all this debris here? All this, the wood and the concrete and the steel. You might have to help pull people out from under the rubble. They might be stuck. What else? Maybe some people are sick. You might have to give them medication or bring them to the doctor, something like that. Lots of things we'd have to do to help there. Maybe have an idea, have a think yourself, and tell somebody if somebody is there, or just tell yourself. Okay. So in certain countries, obviously, tsunamis are more common than others, or they're more likely to happen in certain places than others. This is a sign, I'm not sure what country it's from, but it says tsunami hazard zone. In case of earthquake, go to high ground or inland. So obviously we've said before that what causes a tsunami is an earthquake underwater. So if in certain places, if they hear that there's an earthquake in the sea, then they will be advised to go to high ground or inland, so that the tsunami cannot reach them. Now, some safety rules for a tsunami. First one here, approaching tsunamis are sometimes predicted by a sudden rise or fall of coastal waters and are usually accompanied by a loud roar that sounds like a train or aircraft. If you notice these, move inland to high ground straight away. Second one, stay out of danger until an all clear is issued by the emergency services. So stay inland and on high ground until the emergency services have said all is clear. Third rule, homes and other buildings located in low-lying coastal areas are not safe. Do not stay in such buildings if there is a tsunami warning. The fourth rule, the upper floors of high multi-story reinforced concrete hotels can provide safety if there is no time to quickly move inland or to higher ground. So reinforced concrete hotels would be extra strong and sturdy and safe buildings, which hopefully would not be destroyed by the tsunami. Number 5, never go down to the beach to watch for a tsunami. A small tsunami at one beach can be a giant a few miles away. And lastly, stay tuned to your local radio or television stations during a tsunami emergency. So there are 6 rules to follow there in case of a tsunami. Now, so we've looked at the causes of tsunami. Can you tell me what the cause of a tsunami is? Can you remember? What happens under the water in the middle of the ocean? That's right, an earthquake. An earthquake happens in the ocean, and then what does the earthquake do? It causes waves, big waves, lots of big waves to move towards land. And as they move towards land, the waves get bigger. That's right. We've also looked at how they affect people. So we've seen the devastation and the destruction that tsunamis can cause. What can they do? They can wipe away buildings, cars, homes, lots of different things. So they're very, very powerful. So we need to be very careful. And we've just gone through some safety rules, 6 safety rules that we need to observe in the case of a tsunami. Okay, so that's our PowerPoint. Now we're going to have a look at the textbook. And the textbook pages are page 84 and 85, right? So, how we affect our world is the name of the chapter, or the topic. Now, the big idea. Tsunamis are natural disasters. We cannot stop them, but we can reduce how they affect the environment and places where people live. So unfortunately, they're natural disasters, so we can't stop them. That's an unfortunate thing, but it's the truth. So again, what is a tsunami? Basically, we've said a tsunami is what? A big wave, or lots of big waves together, which make an extremely big wave. A tsunami is a natural event. We cannot prevent tsunamis, but we can prepare for them. A tsunami is formed when there are movements of the Earth's surface under the oceans. These movements include underwater volcanoes, landslides, and earthquakes. Very occasionally, a tsunami is caused by a meteorite striking the Earth. So usually volcanoes, landslides, and most commonly of all, earthquakes, which is what we looked at earlier. These movements create waves that move in all directions, including towards land. Now, we're not going to look at this section here, the bar chart question, okay? But suffice it to say that the bigger the rock dropped into water, the higher the wave. So the bigger the rock, the higher the wave in general. So you write that into your book there. The bigger the rock, the higher the wave. So it was talking here, saying very occasionally a tsunami is caused by a meteorite striking the Earth. So a meteorite is basically a big rock that comes from the sky, which can hit the Earth. So if it hits it in the water, that can cause a tsunami as well. It's very rare though. But the bigger the rock, the higher the wave. So the bigger the meteorite, the higher the tsunami. Preparing for tsunamis. We have seen how tsunamis are formed, but what can we do about them? Many people can be hurt or killed when large tsunamis hit coastal areas. Large tsunamis can also cause a lot of damage to the environment, and we've seen that already in our video and on our PowerPoint. How can we prepare for tsunamis? Use these suggestions to create an action plan. We can move away from the coast quickly. And we've had a look at that in the PowerPoint. Move away from the coast inland towards higher ground. We can have an early warning system in places where tsunamis are likely to occur. We can arrange where we will meet our family and friends if we are separated from them. Number 4, you can make your way quickly to higher ground. Number 5, make sure you know how to contact your family if there is a tsunami warning. And lastly, make sure you follow any instructions given by the emergency services. Okay. So, true or false? Tsunamis are always caused by meteorites. Well, that is false, isn't it? Because it says here, very occasionally or very rarely, a tsunami is caused by a meteorite striking Earth. We know that tsunamis are also caused by volcanoes, landslides, and earthquakes underwater. Number 2, there is a link between the size of the tsunami and the force that created it. So, what do you think? Let's imagine there's an earthquake underground. A really, really big earthquake. Do you think that's going to make the tsunami bigger or smaller? If it's a really big earthquake, a strong earthquake, will that cause a big tsunami or will it cause a small tsunami? Of course, it's going to cause a big tsunami, isn't it? And a smaller sized earthquake will cause a smaller sized tsunami. So this statement is true, isn't it? There is a link between the size of the tsunami and the force that created it. Number 3, a tsunami is a natural event. Is that true or false? Is it caused by nature? Or is it not a natural event? Is it caused by mankind? It is a natural event, isn't it? It's a natural disaster, what we call a natural disaster. It's a natural event. See, it says over here, tsunamis are natural disasters. Just like volcanoes, landslides, and earthquakes are also natural disasters. Number 4, we can stop tsunamis from happening. Is that true or false? Of course, that is false. Because a tsunami is a natural event, we cannot prevent tsunamis, but we can prepare for them. So this statement is false. We cannot stop tsunamis from happening. We can only prepare for them. So that's the end of our science lesson for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed that. And we will talk to you again soon. Bye.